We're gonna show today like how. Hello everyone, this is Rashik from Onethread, and on this video we're gonna see like how can you create a project and how to do different parts of a project. So as you can remember, while signing up, we already had created our first project, and you can see this project list from here. If you want to create more project, you can just I'll just show you one project as well. You can just put in name of a project. If there is a kickoff date, say today, say there is an end date, say sometime in July. Then there is a bunch of other information. So what's the project status look like from beginning, on track, off track, and as you progress, it will automatically change. Do you want to make this project private or public? So visibility, so you can if it's public, you can even share this with on other people with the URL as well. Project type open or close. So for example, if it's an open project, you don't really require a kickoff date and due date. If it's a closed project, you really need a deadline, when the project is going to close. So then, if there is a purpose, if there's a project owner, sponsor, and other stuff. But you don't really need to you put in any of this information. You just put in the name and start the project, right? So I'll just use a default status. So these are statuses in for in within your project, your task, phases, milestone, what are the status that you're going to use. So we're going to just use the default status for now. So if you've done that, as you can see, we have created the second project. So let's go back to this. So as you can see, here, there's this first project and second project. These are our two projects. So let's go into this first project. So it opens up in a new window. So there's our first project, right? So once we have our first project, the first thing that we need to do is look into what we want to do with this project, right? So in our solution, the idea is that if it's a long-term project, you break this project into different phases, milestone, and then task. If not, you can just create some task and go on from there. I'll just show you in how to do all those different things. So in phase, you create a phase. Again, similar to all those other things, you can assign it to people. You can start date, due date, and everything. I'll just quickly go through how different things work. So as you can see, I've already created a phase. It shows us green. Then I'll create a milestone just so that we're aware. And also keep in mind this, that if you want to attach this milestone to a particular phase, what you can do is you can attach this phase within different milestone as well, and you can also do it in different tasks as well. So within this uh, phase, what you can do is, so once you've created this milestone, what you can do is it will be dependent on a your there will be a project that will be broken down to different phases, and that phase is broken down to different milestone and tasks, right? So what you'd want to do is attach this milestone to a particular phase. So this milestone is under that particular phase, and similar with task as well. So in task, what you can do is that this milestone is blocked and similar to task as well, right? So in task, what you can do for the milestone, I have also have it. And again, for phase, I'll also put in some sort of a thing. So now, those are done, right? So you have the phase, a milestone, and task being created. There are different deadlines as well. So I'll just quickly go through one model, and the different models work pretty similarly. So you can look into it. So you have your start date, end date. You can assign it to people within your team. You can label tasks. So like you know it can be anything. It can be I can just create a label as I want. So the idea of label is basically to help you filter. Once you have hundreds of tasks, you'd want to label, filter on different levels. If there is a repetition, so for example, meeting like task, you might want to repeat over a monthly or weekly basis. You can repeat that as well. So these are this modality. So apart from this, if you want new field, you can create new field as well. So for example, I'll just create a field called revenue, right? And I'll just put in currency. and dollar, right? So you can create as many fields as you want. We have this, these are the options. So you can use these options to create as many, more input fields as you want. So in terms of the task brief, you can put in description. You can break this task down into different small sort of subtasks as well. So we have the subtask modality here as well. I'll just quickly show you how that looks like. So I'll just, if I have a subtask, is with subtask, with a subtask one being done, right? And as you remember, I've blocked this by a milestone one. So this is blocking milestone one, and then issues. If I have issues regarding this task, I can also create issues as well. I can attach files here. Uh, and lastly, within this feedback loop, you can use this feedback loop as a basically comment section for everyone that is involved in this task, right? So you'll get a notification depending upon who there is, and every message goes into like their own feedback loop as well. So everything that happens here gets recorded in this activity section. And the revision history is basically, if you want to say change the deadline, say 20 to 21, you'd be asked like why are you looking to change the deadline. So once you put in like, yeah, this is why I want to change the deadline. So now you can see the deadlines. Uh, Given that you have requested to change the deadline, is shown as a you can just submit that task into I can say I've spent 5 hours. Who's the person that is going to review this task? Any other description, any other files, and everything. Say you just attach a files or something like this, and you just submit this. Whatever, right? So you've put in this time entry, and what the time entry is going to do is going is going to go there in this timesheet. And in this timesheet, you can see this the person who has worked in the task one in first project spent 2.5 hours, what they have done, and the breakdown of it, right? So that is roughly how you can go through the modalities. Within this task, there are few other things that you need to have an understanding of. So first is the board view. So as I said in the earlier, there's backlog, pending, and progress and done. These are statuses. So the idea of statuses are you change the status to something else. So as the work progresses, you change the status, and the relevant personnel will get notification. If there are more statuses, you can easily customize and add new statuses. You can edit status as well. And in the Gantt chart, as you can see, this three things are dependent on each other. So there is how it's reflected in the Gantt chart. And now, given that all these three, there are just three things, and these three things are all interconnected. So all this represent a critical path for the project. But if there are other part as well, that will also be reflected. So you'll see what are the tasks that are in progress, what I've done, what are in revised date has been changed, and all those other things as well, right? So and lastly, there's this calendar view. So as you can see within this calendar, you can see this phase and this milestone, though all the things that are going. And all of these things are filterable. So it can be filtered by priority, type, status, personal, label, due date, start date. So it's completely customizable to your particular requirement. And for everything, you can export anything at any point. You can just export it to an Excel file. And if you want to generate reports or anything, even by Excel file, that is doable as well. So that is task. In the next video, we'll go through other different parts of the project, and we'll discuss how those different workflows and doc hubs, all those other things work. Thank you.